What's up, guys? Today I'm going to teach you how to 360 flip. Don't get confused. It's also known as tray flip, tray bomb, 3 flip, or even just tray. Don't get so caught up in how complicated this trick seems to be, because it's actually a pretty simple motion. So yeah, it's kind of like a 3 shove and a kick flip, but it's not as hard as doing a 3 shove. Okay, so the first step is getting the rotation of the board down. Your foot placement is going to be very important for this trick. You're going to want to have your toes on your back foot hanging off so you can get that full 360 rotation. And you're going to want to have your back foot close to the tip of the tail so you can get a good pop. If your back foot is too far forward and too close to the bolts, that's not going to give you the right pop for the 360 flip. You're going to be set up for more of a pressure flip. Now, as far as your front foot, you can put your front foot wherever you feel comfortable, but you're going to want to have your toes slightly pointed. You're going to want to have your foot at an angle. You're not going to want to have it straight perpendicular with the board, and you're not going to want to have it parallel with the board. You're going to want to have your foot at an angle. It's going to be a lot easier to get your foot off the board and out of the way if it's at an angle. Okay, so let's jump right into the actual process of doing a 360 flip. So you're going to want to pop and scoop with your back foot. Think about it like you're trying to give your back toe side wheel bite. You're going to be pressing down really hard on the ball of your foot, and you're going to be scooping it behind you. It'll help if you know how to do a pop shove it, because that's kind of the motion you're looking for. It'll really help if you know how to do a 3 shove, because that's the exact motion you're trying to replicate with your back foot. You don't want your feet flat and relaxed on the board for this trick. You're going to want to be up on your toes. It's going to give you a little more pop, and it's going to give you the leverage you need to get the 360 flip motion. Another reason it's good to have your back foot a little farther back on the tail is because this trick tends to land behind you a lot. Maybe your front foot is going too far off the front of the board. That just means you're going to want to put your back foot a little farther back so that you can push the board forward, push the board out in front of you when you're popping it to adjust for that. Now, if the board's landing way out in front of you, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to adjust your back foot so that you're not throwing the board out in front of you as much. So your front foot's not going to do a whole lot in this trick. It's basically going to go forward and stay there and wait for the board to come around. You're going to act like you're doing a kick flip, but the board's already rotating, so it doesn't hit your front foot as hard as a regular kick flip would. It just barely flicks across the board. The board's already spinning, it's got momentum, so it will flick. You're probably not going to have as hard a time getting the kick flip part of this trick down. So after your foot goes forward, extends, it's just going to stay there and wait. You're going to want to make sure you get it out of the way. A common beginner mistake with 3 flips is landing your feet too close together. So spread your feet out in the air. It's much easier to train yourself to do something right in the first place than to unlearn the wrong way to do it. Okay, so now that you've got the motion down, it's time to start catching your 3 flips. So the 360 flip is a trick that you catch with your front foot. Normally, the foot that's doing the least amount of work is going to be catching the trick. So with kick flips and heel flips, the front foot is doing all the work. So you're going to catch those tricks with your back foot. With the 360 flip, the back foot is doing a lot more work than the front foot. So the front foot has time to get in the right position to catch the trick. So when the board's spinning and flipping and doing its thing, you have to consciously think about keeping your front foot up, out of the way, and over the board. You know, kind of in the middle of the board or towards the front bolts, just to keep the board from over flipping or over rotating, just to kind of guide the board. And then when you see the grip tape come back around, you're going to stick your foot out and let the board hit your foot and stop the rotation midair. Now, the first few times you get this and catch it with your front foot, you're probably not going to be able to land your back foot on unless you're really lucky. So do this a few times, catch it with just your front foot, and land your back foot on the ground. As soon as you start landing it like this, stop, because you don't want to get that drilled in your muscle memory. Okay, so in the air, keep your shoulders straight, parallel with the board, shoulders over the bolts. Keep your shoulders, your hips, your spine, everything straight. Don't start turning your spine, turning your shoulders. You're not going to land your 3 flips that way. And remember what I said. Keep your feet far apart in the air. Don't keep them very close together. Now, if you got those steps and you can catch the board with your front foot, the only thing left for you to do is bend your back knee, suck your back foot up a little bit higher. Now, when you catch the board with your front foot, your back foot is still in the air because you sucked it up a little bit higher and bent your back knee. So you can just stick your back foot on, land on the bolts, and roll away. When you're first learning this trick, sometimes it's easier to learn it on a bank or going up something or down something when you have a little more time, because it takes a while for the board to rotate all the way around. But if you can just pop and jump a little bit higher, it's going to be a lot easier to start landing your 3 flips. So when you're popping this trick, you're going to want to be leaning a little farther back, kind of in the back seat. But then when the board's coming around and you're in the air, you're going to want to shift your weight, shift towards your front shoulder, and shift your weight forward so you can be right over the board. Because if you're still leaning too far back, you're just going to land on the back of the board and shoot out. You got to kind of evenly distribute your weight in the air. If you just can't seem to land your Tre flips, just focus on some other tricks for a little while and come back to it. When you're more comfortable on your board, it's going to be a lot easier to learn. So do some kick flips, heel flips, shove-its, 3 shoves, 180s. Do some varial flips. A varial flip is almost a 3 flip. You know, you're just not doing as much with your back foot. Once you've got all those tricks down, it's going to be a lot easier and you're going to learn Tre flips a lot faster. Also, try some Fakie Tre Flips. Fakie Tre Flips are so much easier and they can help you learn those fundamental movements that your feet must do to do a Tre flip, but in an easier fashion. It's a pretty easy trick if you take your time and think about the motions and don't get too frustrated. Don't try to learn it in a day. It's going to take a little while. Try it for a day and sleep on it. While you're sleeping, your brain is going to make you better at Tre flips. While we sleep, our brain thinks about all the things we did wrong that day and it rewires itself to make us the strongest version of ourselves. So just do some and don't worry about it. Sleep on it, you'll be better the next day. As far as shoes go, I like a nice suede shoe with good grip and a pointed toe. You know, not a lot of stitching on the toe. Something that's not too thick, maybe a vulcanized shoe, something where you can really feel your board. It's probably going to be best for this trick. Just, you know, some Vans. Every company makes really thin suede shoes these days. I like a bigger, wider board for this trick. It's just more surface area for you to land on. I don't know. I like Tre flips. They feel really good. It's just a really natural feeling trick. This video was so much easier for me to make than the how to heel flip video. But, you know, definitely check out some of my other how-to videos. I've got a how to heel flip video, how to kick flip video right here if you want to click on those. If there's any certain trick that you want to know how to do, just leave it in the comments below and I'll think about making a video on it. If you have any other questions about how to Tre flip or anything else, just let me know in the comments section below. If this video helped you out at all, please let me know by liking the video and definitely subscribe for more how-to videos. Thanks for watching.